to my channel, Coin Lady, and a warm welcome back. Imagine a world where banks around the world treat XRP differently than any other cryptocurrency. Now, in my last video, I discussed how the Bank of International Settlements could have lowered the set price of XRP. They were proposing a new regulation that banks could only keep 1% of their capital in a digital asset, which means that XRP is currently classified as a Category 2 asset. This makes the idea of a floor and ceiling price for XRP more feasible, but it's lower than we had hoped for, or potentially limiting. Now, I've been receiving emails from a subscriber named Arnold from Norway for what feels like an eternity. We had a previous conversation on Zoom when we discussed one of his beliefs that was based on something I said. He basically told me, "You're looking at it the wrong way," thus I'd like to figure out his perspective on the matter. And he's going to contradict me and offer his take on why the 1% rule is unnecessary for XRP. In this video, I will explain his entire thesis. If you find it interesting, please subscribe. In the comments, please express your gratitude to Ariel for compiling this. I find it quite intriguing. Alright, then, let's begin. Consequently, this argument does not confine itself. Given the constraints imposed by rules and regulations, as we discussed in the previous video, this new, or perhaps even old, viewpoint expands our understanding of XRP's potential as a global financial platform. To reiterate, in the past, the Bank of International Settlements established a 1% exposure cap for Group 2 assets like XRP as part of their Basel framework. This meant that no bank could allocate more than 1% of their core capital, which is their total reserve funds, to a Group 2 asset. At this point, the asset is an unpackaged group. All it boils down to is XRP. Because large institutions like JP Morgan would be unable to purchase large quantities of XRP due to the 1% exposure constraint, the reasoning goes, the price of XRP would similarly be limited. This is something that you may already be aware of, or I can explain it to you. Because of its status as a bridge asset, XRP may facilitate the conversion of virtually any asset type, including, but not limited to, dollars from British pounds and other fiat currencies. In its current form, it facilitates what are essentially currency swaps. However, if it develops further, its use will likely expand beyond currency. Because of this, moving assets is not only a breeze, but also a far more cost-effective operation. It has been observed that for XRP to function as a bridge asset, it must be able to facilitate cross-border payments, the most problematic aspect of the financial sector at the moment, because these transactions are extremely unpleasant. In order to function at that level in the most efficient and cost-effective manner, the value of each token must be sufficiently high. Also, it needs to be able to process a lot of money and a lot of big transactions. And when that trend continues, the increased value of XRP makes it more simpler. Therefore, it is desirable to employ an asset that is capable of performing any financial activity whenever possible. That is exactly what XRP is. Look, we're in a complete and utter mess. What is coming is a mystery to us. However, I think this is a great perspective. Indeed, I believe it was in line with the more optimistic view. This is how the banking system is currently set up to function. Without a doubt, large banks will be involved when discussing foreign currencies. These institutions store a variety of currencies in order to facilitate transactions in these global markets. To illustrate, consider a bank that wants to conduct business with China. In order to do so, they will need to possess Chinese money. Imagine the Bank of England as a central bank that holds a wide variety of currencies, such as the Norwegian kroner, the Danish kroner, the euro, the dollar, the yuan, and the rubles. Now here's the rub, keeping a bunch of different currencies in big quantities may get expensive. Plus, you'll have to figure out how to deliver that money, so it's not exactly liquid. Additionally, the cost of holding all of these various assets has significantly increased, and operational complexity has grown as a result. At this point, XRP becomes useful. To be clear, XRP's status as a bridge asset isn't required. In fact, it may serve as the initial asset. Therefore, let's investigate that a bit further. There would be no need for banks to hold a plethora of various currencies if they held XRP. Thus, financial institutions might pool their assets in a variety of currencies rather than maintaining 1% in each of 25 to 30 distinct ones. XRP. The introduction of XRP streamlines the system by eliminating the need for 30 separate currencies and replacing them with a single, universal one. With XRP, it's as if having one currency grants access to all of them, rather than having 30 that grant access to just one. Of course, this frees up capital for other uses. It increases liquidity, so banks may convert their XRP holdings into anything else they choose. The entire process is also made much easier and simpler by it. But with its present positioning, XRP is suddenly a digital asset, and not just any digital asset, but a Category 2 digital asset. It's rather constrained to this 1% issue. Banks usually blindly obey the recommendations made by the Bank of International Settlements, who are the regulatory consultants, in the event that this 1% stuff is actually pushed out. However, in order for XRP to be exempt from the 1% cap, the existing regulations must be revised. Additionally, the Basel framework must be revised to incorporate XRP into these restrictions in a different manner. Since the 1% exposure limit concept is a means by which the Bank of International Settlements and other banks aim to dampen the volatility of the cryptocurrency XRP, a high price for XRP makes it less volatile. At that point, it's essentially operating like software. The rules, however, would need to be revised. As we move forward with these things, I believe this is to be expected. For most institutions, the 1% rule is definitely going to be a factor. However, as time goes on and these financial institutions gain a better understanding of the cryptocurrency market, it will no longer be sufficient to just state that Dogecoin and XRP are equivalent. Totally none of these are practical. The second one is purely recreational. I don't understand how you can classify Dogecoin and XRP as two separate and equal categories. As time goes on, it's only natural to separate the benefits of different cryptocurrencies in order to address them appropriately. Otherwise, it would be like trying to claim that a car's wheel and a leaf are interchangeable. Simply put, they are both things, alright. However, that does not take into consideration the many advantages of our leaf, nor does it explain why our leaves should be regulated differently from tires. And in terms of the use case, these things are completely distinct from one another. However, the current state of crypto rules is like to classifying tires and cars as interchangeable, Mike, simply because you can purchase a car and a microphone, thus they're both commodities. No, it isn't. Enough. Therefore, there needs to be a shift in how individuals conceptualize digital assets and currencies. They will eventually come to terms with the fact that XRP's utility cannot be lumped in with altcoins like Dogecoin, and I sincerely believe and hope that this will be the case. Bitcoin, which performs its own unique thing, cannot even be wrapped in. The right way to handle it is also essential. Remove XRP from this classification and give it a new one, an asset with utility, perhaps, if you're treating it rightly in relation to its functions. Eliminating the 1% limit on utility assets is another option, as is moving it to a different category. To free up liquidity, you could, for example, get more precise, or you could eliminate the 1% tap on assets. Because of this shift in policy, a number of financial institutions, including banks and central banks, have begun to keep a single currency for the sole purpose of conducting transactions in that currency. Thank you for watching my channel and for subscribing. I'll see you later.